obviously doing our book review on The Orphan's Tale, which was our book for September. Right? September?
Yeah, September. Yeah.
Okay. Really good book. We wanted to do like a history kind of esque theme kind of book, so that's why we chose this. There's 9 questions in the back, so obviously you know the routine. We're going to go through them, talk how we feel, and then show you guys next month's book. Or at least tell you. I don't think I have mine.
We can go get it.
Yeah.
Or I can go get it. And then I can edit it. Or we can edit it.
Yeah.
And then
but at least tell you guys what October's book will be. We both actually already finished it. So.
Yes. But we're going to dive right into these questions because they're actually pretty lengthy. Like 7 questions in 1 question.
Yeah, they're really long, yeah.
So, let's just dive right in. Alright, so book discussion on The Orphan's Tale. Question number 1, or question 1 of question number 1. Noah and Astrid's rivalry changes into a close friendship despite significant differences in age and circumstances. How did this evolution happen?
Well, I mean, it started off because Noah came into the circus and Astrid was training her.
Yep.
So that's how it started. I don't think the age difference really did anything to it. It was just, you know, during that time period.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think it was that drew them together? I think it was just both their secrets. Honestly, they both had secrets that they needed to be kept, and they needed to trust each other.
I think it was that, and then obviously, like I said, the training aspect of it. It kind of drew them closer. The more that they trained to each other, the more they opened up to each other. It obviously drew them closer together to become close friends.
Have you ever found yourself in such a close but unlikely friendship? And I would say, yeah. I mean, there's a bunch of people that I did not think that I was going to be friends with, just because of, you know, different circumstances and whatnot, and then we ended up, you know, becoming really good friends. So I think everyone has, like, at least one friend like that.
And I'm sure, like, you just think you're not going to be friends with that person, and then it turns out you're really good friends.
Yep.
Alright, number 2. Even in World War II, torn Europe, the circus was still allowed to perform. Did this surprise you? How did the setting impact your reading of the novel? And what deeper meaning did you think there is behind the circus burning down at the end? It surprised me a little bit because of the places that they could go. Even though they had, like, strict areas that they could go, they could at least still go and perform. But obviously they had to be mindful of where they were, what they said, what they were doing in each town.
How did the setting impact your reading of the novel? Well, it surprised me because I've never read a book like that where the setting was a circus.
Yeah, it was different.
Yeah, it's definitely different. I think it's just kind of, I understand what they were trying to do. You know, obviously bring, you know, laughter back into such a horrible situation in the country, or, you know, over the continent period. But I guess it's kind of also more depressing that just people were trying to act like everything was okay.
Trying to have, like, normalcy in their life. And then, what deeper meaning do you think there is behind the circus burning down at the end? I just think it burning down at the end is just a close to that chapter. I mean, we learned out that, like, you know, the ringleader of the circus died. And then you have a pretty big performer obviously get taken away. And there's just a lot going on. Yeah. So I think it was just a closing of that chapter of that time period. Just, you know, everything that was going on. It just kind of closed it.
Question number 3. Sorry, I've been sick, by the way, so I'm sorry, bear with me. Who did you initially think was the narrator in the opening chapter? Well, I was confused at first because I thought Noah and Astrid were one person, and I was like, wait, why is she giving up her baby? And then 1 second, she's married to a German soldier. I'm confused. I don't know what's happening. Yeah. So that confused me. How did the opening chapter shape your reading experience? I mean, it was cool. Like, it was cool to definitely, like, notice how Noah reacted to a situation and then how Astrid reacted to a situation. Because, I mean, they both are different people and different characters in the novel. So I thought that was interesting, too. So.
Okay, number 4. With whom did you identify more closely, Astrid or Noah? Why? And then the other 2 questions. What were Noah's and Astrid's greatest strengths and their greatest flaws? Were there choices you wish Astrid and or Noah had made differently throughout the book?
I would say I would recognize more with Astrid, I guess, because I feel like I'd be, I don't know, I feel like I've always been, like, the more mature one in situations. So, and Noah was definitely more naive and immature in that, in that time period and what was going on in all their lives. So, but I think Astrid also needed that. I think Noah kept her a little hopeful, you know. So.
I'm like 50-50 to them. Because I can identify with like bits and pieces of both of them.
Yeah.
And then their strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
I think we were saying like, obviously like, I think just their strength in general is like one of their, it can be a greatness and a flaw at the same time because, they're both like strong-headed. They, think they're both right at certain times. So I just think their strength is just something that's really great to see them have when they've both been through so much.
Yeah. I would just say that, like Noah was always just very hopeful, which could also be like kind of a strength, but also a weakness though. And she's also always trying to save the day, which ended up taking her life in the end of the novel, which was obviously devastating. But that's just who she was,
Yeah, it's just her personality. Yeah. And then, what are their choices you wish that they would made differently throughout the book? I don't think so, because I think it made the book. It made the outcome of the book.
Yeah.
Obviously, you want it to end differently. We wanted the book to end differently. But I think during this time, that's kind of how things kind of played out, realistically.
Yeah.
We kind of assumed that neither of them would, both of them aren't going to get their happy ending like you want. But I think the choices that they made definitely made the book.
Yeah. Number 5. Okay. Noah is disowned by her family and in turn has her child ripped from her arms. Astrid leaves her family for a husband who abandons her. How do you think Astrid and Noah were each defined by their past? I think, like I said, how Noah's always trying to save the day. I think she's just constantly trying to prove herself because she was just abandoned, by her family and kicked out and basically said she's worthless. Like, she wasn't worth anything to them anymore. And I think she constantly tried to prove herself, throughout the novel, saying, like, hey, no, my life does mean something. So,
I think she's trying to make up for her mistake, too, by getting pregnant by a German soldier.
I think with Astrid, like, how she's so distant with her, like, how she just will not accept that she's actually attached to Peter in any type of way. I think that's also, from her past because she was abandoned by her husband, also. And her family also didn't want to abandon her, but they were taken and killed. So, Peter was all she had. What role does the notion of family play throughout the book? I think it just means that family is in different types of ways. It's like, just because you have to be bloody family. If there's loyalty is like one big thing of family, is to be loyal to one another. And I think that's what the circus ended up being for Astrid and Noah. And I think Noah and Astrid were also just family to themselves in general, especially with Theo. It was Astrid, Noah, and Theo. They cared so much about each other. So
yeah.
What are some other themes in the book? Just everything. This book honestly has everything. Heartbreak, family.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah, just.
You get a little bit of everything, like history, fear, a little bit of like. I don't want to say action, but maybe a little bit. What's going on in the circus, maybe when they explain the different tricks and stuff. But it has everything in it. It's just one of those books that. Once you start reading it, you just can't put it down.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, number 6. What do you think drew Astrid and Peter together so powerfully, Noah and Luke? How do these two relationships differ from one another? And do you think either of these relationships could have lasted a long time under different circumstances?
Astrid and Peter, because they both were just, I think, drawn to each other by tragedy, in their lives. Their lives were so tragic, and they both needed something to like help them wake up in the morning and like go on throughout their life, and just keeping hopeful that one day things will get better.
I mean, also too, because like Peter was protecting Astrid when she, when the soldiers would come to the circus and she would hide under the floorboards. He'd make sure she was safe.
Yeah.
So I think you can just tell how much they cared for one another. And Noah and Luke, it was like overnight that they met each other and like fell madly in love.
Yeah, like I said, it's like a typical like I saw you and
yeah.
I loved you and that was it. Like end of story.
Mean, it's just a cute little way that they kind of like met each other and then like fell in love with each other. And obviously the two relationships are different just because of the principle of them. I mean,
well, I think Astrid and Peter's relationship is more mature. Completely intimate on a different level.
Right.
And then there's also, Noah and Luke who, they're different because they're mature. They're kids, they're teenagers, falling in love. Nothing wrong with that, though.
And then, do you think either of them would have lasted a lifetime under different circumstances? I mean, obviously.
I think both of them would. Even
they would
have. Yeah. Noah and Luke.
I think they would have, obviously under different circumstances, they would have been lifelong partners with one another. And I'm sure had families and whatnot.
Yeah. All right, number 7. Okay, what do you think Peter's decision to continue with his mocking act toward the rich? I don't know how to say that word.
I don't know.
Whatever the Nazi soldiers were called. Yeah, what do you think? Just some blah blah blah. Just what you can do. Okay. I think basically that's who Peter was. I mean, I think Peter wanted to still have control over this situation, his act. I mean, that was who he was, and it was the one thing that still kept him going. So he didn't want them just to be able to control that.
Yeah.
I think that's a big thing with Peter was his act. And how do you think the story would have differed if Peter had refrained from doing the act? A lot different.
Yeah,
let me tell you.
Obviously, he wouldn't have been taken away.
Yes.
I mean, Peter was very adamant about his performances. He wanted it done his way. He didn't want nobody to change it. Yeah. It was either his way or no way. He didn't listen to nobody. So I think obviously if he didn't do that, Astrid and Peter's story would have ended differently. Yeah. Obviously we know that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just another part of the story that you kind of have to work through. I mean, it was really sad when he was taken away. But
yeah, because basically if you were detained at that time period, you knew you were gonna die.
Yeah,
which is awful. I couldn't even imagine.
Okay, number 8. How did you feel about the ending? Were you surprised or satisfied? I like the ending. Obviously, I wanted it to end. I wanted it to end different. I wanted all of them to get out. I wanted them all to be together. I wanted it to be different, but I was happy with the ending to know that at least Astrid still had her baby.
Yeah, that's good.
And that Theo was safe too, and that some good came out of it because obviously all 3 of them went to the museum for the circus. And I mean, you kind of find out what happened to everybody.
It's just surprising that Astrid, for the beginning of the novel, you would not have thought that Astrid would be the one that survived.
No, I figured it was going to be Noah and Theo. I thought that's...
Or that Astrid would have took Theo.
Yeah, I was surprised and satisfied, at the end, how they actually went through, each character, and you kind of found out what happened to them. Because I wondered what happened to Astrid's, first husband, what happened to him after, he had to divorce her because he was a German soldier.
I wish we could have known what happened to, Noah's baby. Or
find out what happened, yeah.
That would've been cool.
Yeah, I think they added, the added little things at the end so you find out what happened to everybody, kind of ties it all together so the questions that would have been left unanswered are answered for you. So you kind of feel satisfied that you at least know what happened to them. Because it kind of made me wonder, what did happen? Peter, I kind of figured what would have happened to him. Kind of knew it was going to happen to Astrid's husband. But at the end, when you kind of find out,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Number 9. What will you remember the most about the Orphan's Tale? What I'll remember the most is the very last scenes where Astrid is old and she's at the museum and she's looking at all the pictures and she's she's looking at the pictures, she recognizes Noah, and one of them she recognizes Luke and Peter and one of them, and that like really just stuck with me because I wonder, you know, I wonder if people who lived through that time period ever did that. Like, I wonder if they've ever gone to the Holocaust Museum in New York City and saw, like, their neighbor, you know, or the kid, or, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wonder if they ever, if anyone who lived there during that time period in Germany or, you know, Poland during World War II, if they actually ever saw pictures of people in camps that they actually knew who they were.
Yeah, I always wondered that, or, like, you know, in, like, the museums, like, seeing, like, letters or notes and stuff and just being, like, you know, like, I wrote that to someone or someone wrote that to me, or...
Yeah.
I think...
Because they're real people, and that really happened, and it's awful, and it was, like, a very terrible part of history. I mean... This
book was just so good. It was just... The whole book in general I will remember. This is a book that I will remember.
Yeah, it was a really... If you have not read this book, I really, really recommend it. Yeah. Like, it was so good. So good.
Yeah, it was a good pick. I'm, like, excited that we picked this. We like to pick different things and go back and forth each month and decide what we want. This one was just such a good pick. Like, I didn't expect it to be as good as it was. Once I started reading it, I was, like, so glad.
Yeah, and our October book is awesome. I read it in, like, 3 hours because that's how good it was. I could not put it down. Yeah. And y'all are going to love it. It's awesome. But we are running out of time. Yeah. So...
We're trying a new thing. We're trying to do, like, a little intro on our videos, so they might look a little different when we put them out there this time. We're trying to have a camera.
Better at the whole YouTube thing.
Yeah, we're doing it on a camera. Like, we're trying to do more things. We can take the camera with us when we go buy our books. And, like, when we package up the packages to send them out and stuff, we can, like, bring you guys in and kind of show you what we're doing. And
if you haven't already, go to our website, livingbookclub.com. Follow us on Instagram, Living Book Club. Yeah. So it was nice seeing you guys, talking to you guys.
Yeah, it's always a fun time.
We will see y'all next time, and we'll do just a new video over just when we go shopping for a November book or whatnot, you know.
I mean, we're going to Salem, so you might see little snippets.
Yeah, we might post a video of that because that'll be really cool. Like I said, we're running out of time, so we love you guys. If you are watching, thank you for watching. I know we're not like super YouTube famous or not yet, but we just love doing this. This is honestly just a hobby. Yeah. We love like reading books and discussing it. I mean, so if you like doing it too, then
come join us.
You can't get the right spot. Oh, phone call.